right, y'all. Welcome back to Gemstone Podcast. Thank y'all for rocking with us this new year. So I wanted to talk about the whole Jay Z case, the whole Sean Carter case. Now, guys, some people make. I'm not gonna be biased because Jay Z is my favorite rapper of all time. But I'm not gonna be biased. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 on this topic. So, as some of you may know, just a quick overview of what's going on. So Jay Z was implicated in a lawsuit against a victim for raping her when she was 13 years old at a Diddy party. Well, she actually went to the MTV Awards and she ended up uh one of Diddy associates tapped her on the shoulder and was like, he likes what he sees, come back with us, right? Mind you, she was 13 years old at the time. She had autism. She's also Caucasian. Well, we don't know that for sure, but come on out. If you heard her voice, you could tell. So she got tapped on the shoulder to come out to meet Diddy to one of the parties. Mind you, at the time she was 13. She was actually from upstate New York. I think she wasn't. Well, yeah, this is the story. So she's from upstate New York. She got asked to come out to the after party because they like what they see or whatever. So she alleges that once she arrived at the after party, she was given a drink. Mind you, once again, she was 13 years old. She has autism, and she took a train from upstate New York to New York, which is like about 4 hours. She took a train by herself at 13 years old with autism to upstate New York. She said she was given a cocktail in which she started to not be able to control, like she basically was drugged. And when she woke up, she was raped. She woke up to Diddy being on top of her and Jay-Z. Basically, she was awkward. So in that, so when she got out of the hotel, she ran for her life. She called her father. Her father can pick her up. Her father drove from upstate New York all the way to New York in the middle of the night to come pick her up. So fast forward, this is about 20 years ago. This young woman is, and I'm all for the Me Too movement and everything. Now this young woman is an adult. Now she lives in Alabama, which you hear the way she talks, you can tell she's a Southern native. Like she currently lives in Alabama. She still, she has autism. She has some other learning disabilities as well. And she says that she was raped by Diddy and Jay Z. So Tony Busby, hopefully I'm saying his name correct. He's an attorney. He's from Texas, and he has a long record of some favorable things and some non-favorable things. He has a long history of bull crap, basically. So Tony is the one that's over the case of her, and I believe he's over another case as well with Diddy on there. And so, of course, Tony Busby, he's the kind of attorney that is like, he hits the tabloids, he goes real hard, and then typically he gets paid out, which that's what Diddy did. Diddy end up paying, but I don't get. Let me say that part. So Diddy ended up paying, and that's why he's in jail right now. That's why. Okay, but anyways, so he hit Jay Z with a lawsuit wanting a certain amount of funds. And of course, Jay Z, being who he is, Jay Z did not comply. Instead, him and his attorneys asked to take it to court. So once they started going to court on this matter, mind you, this lawsuit was filed a day before the red carpet premiere of The Lion King 2, which his daughter was a leading role in there. So it was really embarrassing for them. Jay Z and his team decided to take it to trial. Boom. The trial, they take it to the judge, all that stuff. The judge gives Tony Busby and this victim a certain amount of time to produce whatever evidence that they were supposed to produce. They did not produce that evidence in a certain amount of time. So in certain states, it's different laws in different states, of course. But in state of New York, there's a clause where basically if the lawyer did not drop this case, then he would have to turn around and pay the state of New York all kind of fees for filing the case. He has a certain amount of days. So Tony Busby, also, mind you, he's rich. His whole family he comes from wealth, and he's an attorney. He's rich. He got the money, But who want to turn around and pay the state of New York a free $200,000 or whatever they was gonna have to pay? So what did Tony do? He dropped the case. And once he dropped the case, what did Jay Z do? So people were waiting. People was wondering what Jay Z was gonna do, but I knew what Jay Z was gonna do. Jay Z turned around and sued Tony Busby and the victim for defamation and a slew of other charges. So if we're paying attention here, y'all filed against Jay Z. Y'all came up with this elaborate story that a 13-year-old that has autism, her parents allow her to catch a train from upstate New York to New York, where she had never been in the early 2000s. She did not even have a cell phone. How did she maneuver? Y'all allow her to go there with autism and other learning disabilities. If you listen to the way this woman talks, this woman is clearly mentally ill, or like not mentally challenged. You know, she has a problem. Somebody allowed her to go to New York to go to the MTV Awards by herself with no connections. When no, how did she get inside the MTV Awards at 13 years old with her not being a celebrity or not associated with any celebrity? She wasn't friends with Hannah Montana or Raven Baxter or the Osborne twins. Nobody. How she got the MTV Awards? Anyway, now you're saying, now let me say this, which I believe this woman has been through trauma. I don't deny that. But I mean, to me, it sounds like, oh, I got raped by two black men and it was Jay Z and Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Tony Busby, to me, he is taking advantage of somebody that's mentally, politically correct term for it. He's taking advantage of somebody that's mentally challenged when and trying to get a big payday from Jay Z. Because it would have been a big payday, probably 40 million, 50 million, whatever. And he would have turned around and gave this lady some money and would have kept most of it for herself. But that's what it seemed like was going on to me. So, like I said, she dropped the lawsuit. The attorney dropped the lawsuit, then Jay Z. So it was about a few days in between. So everybody was watching because I follow this guy on, he's like a legal analyst or something. He follows a lot of crime cases and he was talking about the case or whatever. He was like, well, the girl dropped the case like on a Thursday. They dropped the case. He was like, let's see what Jay Z's gonna do. He was like, if Jay Z guilty, he ain't gonna fire back. He's just gonna let it go away because guess what? He didn't have to pay nothing but his attorney fees. So that was on a Thursday. Monday morning, the state of New York had a lawsuit on their desk from Sean Carter, and it to this Tony Busby and this woman. And Jay Z stated that he will not be mishandled. He will not be accused of this. He ain't gonna lay down. So now where we have it at? Jay Z's gonna win this lawsuit. He's gonna win a lawsuit. He's gonna win this lawsuit, and his lawyer potentially he might not. It might not happen that way because he's a white man, but potentially he might not be able to practice in New York anymore. That's where I see this going. But Jay-Z's gonna win a lawsuit. He's gonna win the lawsuit because the story didn't make no sense. The lady is in Timbuk, Alabama, somewhere in the woods, recording her video, which she don't show her face at all. She's in the woods somewhere in Alabama, in the backwoods, talking about I got raped by Jay Z and Diddy. A mentally ill, a mentally challenged woman at that. So here's where Jay Z kind of messed up at. Jay Z, of course, he's rich. He has a lot of power. He hired a private investigators to find her. He found her. The private investigators had been investigating her and watching her, and one of them actually spoke with her. So that's where he kind of messed up at because she said she dropped the charge because she was in fear for her life. This was prior to us finding out about the private investigators finding her. So it does make it seem like Jay Z, you are intimidating her by hiring these private eyes to find her. If it was me and I was Jay Z, would I have done that? Hell yeah. I would have had a private detective drive into Buckhead Boo, Alabama, and find your ass and see what's going on. Take pictures of you, everything. I'd have had my people come out. Now we know other celebrities have hired PIs to come to people's house and find them and stuff, and actually shake them down. Jay Z ain't do that. The lady ain't been shook down. She ain't none of that stuff. But clearly, whatever attorney would take this case up is a one that's out for money. Then I feel like they assumed that Jay Z would just cut the check like Diddy did, and that was Diddy's biggest mistake was cutting the check. She took it to trial. But Jay Z didn't do that. He took it to trial. So now he's gonna win this lawsuit. We know that. And now let's say, for instance, another accuser comes forward and say Jay Z raped them. it's gonna be the same thing. So I mean, I'm not defending Jay Z in no fashion, but I don't believe he did this. I don't believe he raped anyone. Um, do I believe Jay Z is a good person? No, I don't. I mean, I listen to his music. No, I don't. I don't know the man, but I don't believe he's a good person. But how do I believe he raped a 13-year-old? No, I don't. I don't. I read Corinne Superhead Steffen's book, her first novel, when she talked about Jay Z in there, and she talked about how smooth that was and how she got inside the Maybach with him. They rode to the beach and he touched her on the shoulder and put his seat back, and she went to. So he ain't. I ain't never. I mean, just from those kind of artists, I don't try. I don't think Jay Z's the type of person that would rape you. Now, would he shake you down? I believe that. Would he? Did he sell crack and all? And yeah, he might even killed a few people. Who knows? Because I mean, you grew up in the '80s. You were selling crack in New York in the '80s. You killed somebody, or at least attempted to. Come on now, you nobody that from that era. You grew up, anybody that grew up around the real New York gangsters that was in that era, they killed people. So do I believe allegedly? Do I believe that he allegedly probably shook a couple, probably hung a couple by their feet? Yes. Do I believe he was a real drug dealer? Yes, I do. All that's been proven that Jay Z was a drug dealer, a real drug dealer, a New York drug dealer at that. But him raping a 13-year-old is just, it's not, I just never believe the story. And then the lady being mentally challenged the way she is, it just didn't make any sense, guys. But yeah, so that's the synopsis of it all. I mean, we've heard things about Jay Z. He didn't stab people. He didn't, like I said, been selling crack rocks since he was like 12 years old. Like he didn't. He has a history of quotation marks a gangster lifestyle, but I just don't see him actually drugging and raping a 13-year-old. I don't see that. But anyway, so like I said, that's my whole synopsis of this story. So Jay Z's gonna win this case. He gonna win the case. We know that. So what's gonna happen after this though? Like where does this put Diddy at? Because Diddy's in this case too, and a lot of his victims are being represented by this same attorney. I think this is gonna in turn help Diddy. Do I think Diddy's gonna get off scot free? No. But I think some of these cases against him that's being represented by the same attorney is going to be dropped. And I feel like the same attorney should have handled the Diddy cases first before you handle the case with this little slow lady. Handle your Diddy case. Diddy trial is in May. Y'all could have waited 5 months to file charges on Jay Z, but instead you after that bag. You after that bag. But by all means, but this don't look good for you representing these victims against Diddy. This makes it look like y'all guys are trying to take down a rich black man. What y'all think?
I guess I'll go first. So from what I got from the take is that it was a money scheme trying to get at Jay-Z to see if he will fold or he will settle to the case just to make it go away before it goes public, I'm assuming. But since he said, no, I'm not doing it, now he's coming back for a suit for defamation, trying to get that dude out of there. That's basically what it was. Just like, nah, we're not doing none of that stuff, right?
Exactly. So they first they presented the case to him and wanted what I think it was 35 million or something like that. He said no, and instead he asked for trial. They took it to trial. The judge gave him enough time to present. They didn't present any evidence. And now that's the basic what happened.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I agree. Hey, if somebody was trying to do that to me, I'm suing their ass right back. I need my money. I need everything back. You can't just get away doing this scot free. I need all that. I need the energy you came with me. I need it all back. But with that being said, I know we was kids back then, but we all heard the stories of him and Aaliyah, and she was young too. So I'm just gonna throw that out there and walk away.
Leah and Foxy Brown. Don't leave Foxy out.
I'm just saying, and we all know Aaliyah was not of age at that time, but we throwing that out there, walking away. Throwing it out there. We are not saying anything allegedly.
Well, technically she was because she died when she was 22 in '01. And if she had any if it's true that she was involved with Jay-Z, that would have been 98, 99. So that would have made her like 18 or 19.
Bruh, she was messing with this man the same. When she was with R. Kelly, she was messing with Jay-Z the same time.
I personally never heard that before because when she was with R. Kelly, Jay-Z was still sitting on the corner selling crack. So I've never heard of that before.
Allegedly.
All right, Zach, you want to add anything else before we get to our next topic?
Nah, baby, I ain't got nothing else to add to that. I mean, like you said, I think it's great to see. It's great to see the system working in the favor of people that are doing the right thing or that are innocent. And hopefully we'll see the system do the right thing with the people that are accusing people like this and doing trying to get over on people like this. And we'll just have to wait and see how that comes, but we'll see.
Any kind of sex crimes. I think it's gonna be more related to bad business dealings, you know, being a drug dealer, you know, shaking folk down, stabbing folk, stuff like that that we know for a fact he's done. I think he's gonna have to answer to some of that stuff more so. You know, maybe some more lawsuits come about. Who knows? Maybe Damon Dash might file another lawsuit against him because I think he won the last one against Jay Z. So who knows? But I don't think he's gonna go down for no sex crime. That's it.
Well, we're gonna hop into my topic right now. I mean, I want y'all to get a little excitement. You know what I mean? We're in season 2 for the Gemstones podcast, year 2, my boy.
Man,
Year
I'm
2.
excited. I'm
Oh,
excited.
man, year
Look,
2, my nigga. Come on now.
man, I'm sure.
What that shit? Year 2, season 2,
It's a
back.
hard knock life for us. It's
Hey,
a hard knock
hey,
life. Oh,
hey.
look! Shout out to the volume. Shout out to the Blueprint volumes.
All right, check.
Volume 1 too.
But yeah, we just got excited, like my boy said at the beginning. We is now on the Amazon Music podcast. We is now on Apple Podcast, and we on Spotify. We told y'all this year we was coming harder, we was coming different, and we moving differently now. You know what I'm saying? We moving differently. But for my podcast topic tonight, we talking about tariffs. Now, we excited right now, but this ain't something to be excited about right now because boy, these tariffs is not about to be so pretty for us. Now, I'm gonna go through and break down what a tariff means. I'm gonna try to simplify it in simple terms for it. A tariff is a tax that the US government places on imported goods. Think of it as like an extra fee for businesses have to pay for bringing in products into the USA, right? The idea is to make foreign goods more expensive and to encourage people to buy more of your country's products. So, like American products, more USA made products. And the way Trump wants to use it is to force more companies to move their companies back to the United States instead of them all moving out to the United States to get cheaper labor. Now, long term, this is great. Short term, it's gonna hurt. Now, short term with this, for example, if we talk about the Canada and the Mexico 25%, even the 10-15% for China. If we put it in terms of Canada's first one, all our paper and lumber comes from Canada. About 84% of our stuff comes from Canada almost. We have to check me on the facts on that, on the correct number though. If you think about that, toilet paper, paper towels, what else that is? Paper, anything to do with paper is about to go up 25%. 25%. If you was paying $20 for a roll of paper towels, now you're paying $25 for a roll of paper towels. Sick. That whiskey that was costing you $20, now it's costing you $25. That rock gut whiskey you was trying to get for cheap back in the day, it ain't rock gut cheap no more. It's gonna pay now. All them cars we buy, this what's gonna hurt some of y'all right now. Y'all remember how them car prices was back when COVID hit? How we was all crying because of those them chips was out and we was paying all them stupid prices. Well, good look, hey, look here. Them prices about to come right back. Them prices coming right back for the new cars. And you know what? Even the used cars might get hit because when COVID hit, they hit the used car market too, and they tore us up with them prices. So be looking out for that. All them cars about to be hot in a giraffe again. But as us millennials and all us people, one of the things we can do and how this can affect us also is the job market. That can be good for a lot of our manufacturing companies. It might be a lot of y'all gonna get some protection in y'all jobs because it's gonna be much more cheaper for stuff coming here. But it might be taking y'all a little hit because a lot of those products that y'all was pushing out, or you doing a lot more exporting instead of importing, or excuse me, if you're doing a lot more exporting of goods, that's gonna hurt you a little bit more because now them prices done ran up if you was exporting to Canada. If Canada, because Canada at 25%, everything you ship to Canada from America, that hits. Anything you send to China, that's gonna hit. And we have to remember about this. When I'm talking about hits, we as the American people pay for the tariffs, not our government, not anybody else. It's us. It's a extra tax that we gonna have to pay for because them companies ain't paying for it. If the company's gotta pay for it, you gotta pay for it. They gonna get that 25% back some way. Please believe it. Just like if you was owning the company, you had to pay 25% extra. What that mean? You about to raise these prices for these products by 25%. I gotta make my bottom line right. Now the pros to this, like I was mentioning earlier, that means a lot more protection for some of our American jobs. That's gonna strengthen our local industries, reduce It's going to reduce reliancy on foreign goods coming into our country because we're going to be producing a lot more things in house. What we can do as millennials in this time is start looking to become a better and a smarter shopper. Start looking to compare prices and find a buying strategy to avoid the tariffs inflation costs. Understand the policies that we're going to be going through and understanding who you're voting for. Also, look for investment opportunities. Some industries benefit from tariffs while others suffer. Know who you investing in. This can be very key right now because hey, you running these stocks and you playing these stocks right now, you should be making money. Always make money doing this stuff. But I want to ask you guys, do you see these tariffs affecting us a lot more? Or you think it's something that's going to be able to pass by like every other thing we go through lately?
This is what I will say because remember I told you guys the election this go round was about money. I said it. Then I told you guys who were going to win the election. Now I know a lot of us were distracted by the well I'm not gonna say a lot of us but the Project 2025. That seemed like that was the overarching initiative for the Trump administration. And I said previous podcast, that's smoke and mirrors. That was smoke and mirrors. With the tariff, Zach, you're correct. I mean, they're about the taxes in which we tax for import goods, and the administration that we have in office right now, their strategic plan is okay. We're going to raise we're going to play bully ball. We're going to raise the percentage of what we have with you guys, so we can get on the back end more on the back end. But vice versa, we already have partnership agreements with some of these countries as well. Like Canada threatened to turn off the electricity and turn off the lights in Michigan and threatened to not have minerals be sent over in nickel and other elements that we rely on as a federal republic. Not to mention that we already, as an administration, we're having issues with our foreign relations as well. Not to mention that we have a novel intervention such as Doe, who is coming in to make these demands and doing these scale backs on our governmental departments, which we kind of discussed beforehand. I said that was coming, and it's all about money. That's what it's all about: money, money, money. And the concept is that they want to allow America to be a thriving, booming source of financial prosperity once again, forcing these, like you said, Zach, these big corporations back in. Now, is it going to work? Like, to answer your question, can we withstand this? It's going to be hard because we can already see the prices of things going up, even internally, because with these layoffs, we have the CDC funding cut. We have medical research funding being cut. We have the federal government, their budgets being cut. We have FQACs currently at Capitol Hill discussing how they can keep their funding. You have to think they're discussing cutting the funding for federal qualified health centers, which provide access to care for underserved. What population benefits from that the most? It's minorities mostly. Now we're talking about we're going to raise the tariff on import goods. Well, when it comes to import goods, like you said, paper. Well, guess what else is printed on paper? Money. Our money is paper. And guess what? Our coin, they're made with elements. Our financial transactions and how we pay for goods is used on the elements in which now they're threatening to withhold. And it's I hate to say it, but we're headed into a recession. And I don't think we're going to be in one for 2 years or 5 years. We might be in one for a year. But it's getting really, really bad. And it's getting bad to the point where and I've said this, I'm going to say it again. The current administration is not focused on the people. They're focused on the internal conflict within our government. We have red and blue fighting each other. We just saw I watched it on YouTube, where the kid or the child or the boy who has brain cancer, everyone in red clapping, but no one in blue clapping. Not to mention that the funding that supports the research surrounding coming up with cures and novel ways to best adhere to the brain cancer has been cut by the same person that is talking to you. Keep saying it, man. All this is our government really showing out and our government flexing on each other. It ain't got nothing to do with it. We're just casualties of a game of chess. Will it benefit in the long run? Yeah, if we can sustain it and we can make it through it. But you have to think if we don't have medical research, if we don't have the CDC, I mean, like right now, currently in the state of Texas, we have a measles outbreak. If you go to the hospital, you need to be admitted. You have to wait. They don't have any beds available. It appears to me that we have another pandemic taking place right now around the country. Hospital beds are hard to come by, but we don't have the governing body to even announce that. So I think that is hard times are coming, sure. And so many Americans are going to pay the price of our government at war with each other. This has nothing to do with the people. This is strictly the government at war with each other, and they're showing it. I mean, we saw the man come from Ukraine and how they treated him. Now, was he out of pocket a little bit? For sure. Were we giving him a lot of money? For sure. But they broadcasted those ugly negotiations, which happen normally behind closed doors. And that's probably how they normally go. And that's really do how they normally go behind closed doors. I've seen negotiations for millions of dollars of contracts. They get ugly. People talk crazy to each other. CEOs and board chairs and funders, they talk wild to each other. They're very disrespectful towards each other when you're talking about that much money, because it's a lot of money. But that shouldn't have been broadcasted to the public. Once again, it's the government going to get fighting with each other, flexing on each other. Man, you did what the previous man. When I did that in the previous podcast, and Shaw was like, it ain't gonna never happen. But we have to pull away from the red and blue. The people of this country have to realize it is us who control and who selects and who puts these people in power or in positions. I'm not even gonna say power, in positions to make decisions that are best for us as a population in the country. And the only way we can do that is to, one, become more informed, and two, to use preventive education measures. But I mean, this is where we are. We can't cry over spilled milk. And I just don't know, Zach. I mean, that question is so convoluted, man, because it's, can we? Yeah, but what's gonna be the casualties when we do finally sustain? Because people are renting chickens. People are renting chickens. One chicken produces a dozen eggs a week. People are renting chickens because eggs are so high. Milk is skyrocketing. Gas is skyrocketing. I mean, everything, every good that we have for an essential good is going to skyrocket. Toilet paper, yeah, like you said, going to skyrocket. Everything. And can we sustain? For sure. But what's going to be the casualty? Only in this, I hate to say it, only the strongest going to survive. Those who can turn chicken into chicken salad is going to be able to survive. Those who panic during distress, or, just get totally out of it when things are getting too complicated or too stressful, they're not going to make it. And that's where we're headed. Everything's going up a bit. Everything is going up but your check. In other ways to make income, like you said, investing, that's becoming more strenuous to do. Yeah, we can do stocks and bonds and things like that. But think about the tax that they're gonna give you on what you accrue with your stocks and bonds. That has went up. That ain't, I mean, it was much lower. Go look. It's went up as well. In each state is different. Each state has a different tax. The state of Texas doesn't have a local or city tax. It just has a state tax. Some states have a local tax and a state tax. I just, I don't, I just, I digress. I just think that we can sustain, but the casualty rate is gonna be so bad. It's gonna be so bad, man. It's like Thanos is in our White House and he snapped his finger. No lie.
Yes.
If I may, Shy, real quick, I
Yeah, before I get my take.
I think it could be very sustainable in a way because yes, you're playing blind poker with a whole bunch of countries, and yes, a whole bunch of countries is really upset with us. And now I'm not agreeing with the way Trump has done it. I'm not agreeing with how it's done, but adding more of these companies that have left this country back to the country long term would be very good. Like just for vehicle manufacturers that I've known in the past day that I've heard this since the tariff is getting ready to go on, but these are paused. Porsche, Mercedes, Honda, and a couple other of the foreign countries that were really producing a lot of cars for America that and exporting cars to America are moving their companies back to America, and some of the facilities that they already had here or people that were already producing facilities, they're taking over those facilities with them to move their vehicles there to get produced. So it's really going to be, I really want to see how our American company cars are, like the Chevys and all that stuff that move to Mexico and stuff. How are they going to react? Are they going to actually come back to the States now? Or are they going to keep trying to make the export just come in like that? Like, so it's all a lot of reaction to see how that happens with these future goals. And I think future wise, it'll be beneficial for a short time, but we'll have to see how it works out. But it is going to be short term. It's going to be very hard on everybody. I don't think nobody's going to be safe. Even the billionaires are saying they're going to be safe. They're going to figure out another way to save their money because they got the people, the accountants to do it for them. But they're going to hurt too. The ones that don't know what they're doing are going to be very hurt. or don't got the money to have a good account is gonna be very hurt.
Like you said, like the import. Like think of a Mercedes and Porsche though. Think of their budget compared to a Chevy. It's much bigger. They have more room for blustering and growth
Oh yeah.
outside of a Chevy. So if I'm Mercedes or if I'm Honda, then guess what? It's okay, cool. We can come back over there because we can still sustain being in the country we're in over here and being in yours. While with GM, because Chevy's a GM product. Remember, many years ago they had the lawsuit where they were sued by the government for doing unlawful practice, and they actually had to go to another country to sustain their company's longevity. Because remember, they did so many layoffs for their manufacturers way back when. And then they were even doing buyouts for individuals who retire individuals earlier because they didn't want to pay that retirement. So we'll buy you out early so we can save some money. So you're right. The reactive process to it, will they come? Probably not. But like I said again, it's our government fighting with each other because it was certain individuals either in a red or blue seat that granted them that position or that permission to go over there, and now you're that's considered foreign relations because we have our main GM products are over here in Mexico where we're producing the vehicles. Then we ship them by train or by boat or by import to wherever, and then they go to our local either industrial sites here in the United States. So they're actually getting a tax break. They're actually saving money. So now you're raising it on them for them to come back, but really you granted them permission to go away. The previous administrations did. So that's why I'm saying it goes back. Can it be sustained for sure? But what's the casualty rate? Oh, the chips are made in China. All the cars for chips are made in China. They're not made at the main manufacturers where they have these cars. Their chips are made in China and then shipped. So China's still gonna withhold the chips. That's why we didn't have so many cars during the COVID season because China had them. So we still back to square one with the chips because most cars are push start. They have the ecosystem. Some are, the big wave that we had to build for the industrials to go to electric vehicles to move away from using oil and exhaust because we're poisoning the ozone. That was signed back in Biden's administration time. So we still on that because they have the chips. But like you said, I agree with you. It's gonna be rough. And the billionaires saying they're gonna get through it, they not. They gonna be struggling too, even if they got accountant. Cause I just know for sure that the concept of people being in positions to work is not hacked. You got to think about it. Car manufacturers that were American made, they moved to other countries for cheaper labor, right? Because the cost of living in the base salary, the base minimum wage was raised all over. The government signed for that long ago, right? So they moved. Okay, we can pay these people $2 an hour to build us cars. If they bring plants over here, we have so much technology. Technology can do most of the grunt work, and they can still save money. And who do we have leading the charge on technology right now? We ain't gonna say his name, but we know who he is. That's still kind of in the air a little bit because we don't even know what's the response to that. So I don't, like I said, man, I just feel like Thanos is in office. He snapped his finger, and we're gonna see what happens.
Well, so to answer the question, I feel like we're gonna be all right because I mean just in my lifetime so far, I didn't experience so much. Like we didn't went through COVID, we didn't have multiple recessions, we didn't went through technology changing, wars, everything you pretty much everything. Each generation this reoccurs in America. Each generation there's dictators coming into power, there's recessions, there's all these things that can be prevented. There's literally history keeps repeating itself in this country, in the world period, but specifically in this country, history just keeps repeating itself. Right now we have our modern day Hitler and our modern day associates. We have these people right now, Mr. Tesla. We have our modern day Hitler. We have our Hitler's cronies, Trump, and all the other associates. We have that right here. We have our modern day people. Now I will say to all of the things that's really gonna go up, people got what they wanted, right? They voted for Trump. The Democrats sat back and wanted to play the fair game and wanted to fight fair, and they lost. All the stuff that was in place that he was able to use to his advantage to win should have never been there. So all of these farmers that are on TV crying about their farm, you got what you asked for. Farming for Trump with y'all green size in y'all yard, you got what y'all asked for. I'm gonna lose my farm. I'm this and this and this. I'm not being repaid for the things that I put in place that he promised that we would be paid for. I'm already $300,000-$400,000 in debt on my farm with no avail. You got what you wanted. They literally told y'all this was gonna happen. We knew it. We saw what happened during the first administration. All them people who died because of someone not taking initiative to make the better precautions to prevent more people from passing away from COVID. We saw what happened. We saw how things skyrocketed during the pandemic. One thing that was cheap during the pandemic was traveling. Hopping on the plane was cheap. Going somewhere. Everything else was high. We saw how much they lined their pockets with our money of American dollars that should have been for the people. We saw how they cut the education budget and lined their pockets some more. We saw how that was laid across that couch in the White House with her legs up in front of all them men. Well, not her legs were out. Not dressed like not dressed like somebody that's public office. No. She was laid across that couch after she didn't ripped away all this money from the education budget and got these kids out here hungry, starving, and without the proper programs. We've already seen this. So buckle up because we already seen this. We've already seen what happened this last time. And in our history books have showed us what happened during the Great Depression. We're doing the Great Flood. We have seen is the Civil Rights Movement. We have seen what has gone on in this country because of people that we elect. So I think we gonna survive it like we always have. We'll be switching out them pretty soon before we gonna blink 2 more times. It's gonna be 4 years. So I mean, we'll survive. Now, as far as I remember when he was saying all the things that he was gonna place on Mexico, and then to turn around and place it on hold, which I knew it was gonna be bullcrap because Trump's a liar. He says a lot of things to get people riled up. Just like today, he signed in a proclamation for March being Women's Month. Women's History Month. March has been Women's History Month before I was born. So what are you even talking about? He don't even know what's in place in this country. He don't even know you sit in the Oval Office with a pen signing Women's Day. Make it make sense. They don't know. Like I said, he's a liar. He says a lot of things that he's gonna do that he ain't gonna do, and a lot of things that he said he is gonna do, but he does not do it exactly like the way he said he. So when he said he was gonna place all these tariffs on Mexico and all this other stuff and build a wall, all this stuff like that he has not done, he go back and say because somebody whispered in his ear, Elon and the other folks told him, "Nah, you can't do this to Mexico because we got houses out there. We like to go vacation. We hate Mexicans. We love to go on vacation out there. We love Governor Hot Wheels. We love to go sit on the beach and drink our margaritas and get our beach massages by the Mexican people. We love to yeah." So they told him to chill out on that. Not literally, but y'all know what I mean. So I think we're gonna be straight. I mean, ain't no telling what they really, really gonna do because they say a lot of stuff that they don't end up doing. So we'll see. I mean, I do believe that he's gonna give another stimulus check or whatever? Yeah, I do because he gonna line his pockets with the money that he has access to now by cutting all these programs like they did the first time. They lined their pockets. All these people that are billionaires, that companies got PPP and all these other funding with the money that they could have gave to Americans. He's gonna do the same thing again this time. The same. He's gonna line his pockets. He's gonna pay his debts off. His debts to Russia for helping him win the election, stealing the election. His debt to Elon and his company for helping him steal the election. He gonna pay all these billionaires that have companies out here. Pockets gonna be lined up. Everyone that assisted him and winning. And American people, he gonna chunk us a $1,500 or whatever, and everybody gonna be happy again. And when the next president gets elected, who's gonna be a Democrat, because clearly America needed to see what was gonna happen again when these people go back in office. So the next president is gonna be a Democrat. When they come back in the office, then everybody gonna be same thing. It's just history keeps repeating itself.
He ain't been in office 90 days. Remember, I said this. I said, I'm pretty sure he has a 90-day plan. Anybody that takes an executive leadership position, I don't care if you just the CEO, you a president of an institution, the board chair and founder, every leader comes in with a 90-day plan, a 90-day or 150-day plan, either or a 90-day or 150-day. It ain't been 90 days. Hell, it ain't been 60. He just took over office on January 20th. Literally, we in March. It ain't been 3 full months. It's only been 1 full month on February 20th. And all this has transpired already. Now, I believe a lot of it is smoke and mirrors, like I keep saying. A lot of it is smoke and mirrors. I don't believe the tariffs is smoke and mirrors. I believe that's one of his strategic principles that he wants to stand on. His core strategic principles that he wants to stand on. I also believe the immigration is one of his principles he wants to stand on. Now, it's going to be 3 more that come out because he got to have 5. Because anytime somebody do a 90-day plan, they have 5 action items they're going to do. At least 5. At least 5. So he got 3 more things to roll out that he's serious on. He already rolled out the first 2 that he really serious on. Because we saw how ICE was out here taking anybody that didn't speak good English. They busting them up, which is out of pocket. But it's 3 more things he got to drop. What he gonna drop? I don't know. But I strongly feel that this administration is at war with the government. Y'all have to remember this. Trump was when our president, who's our current president, because he's the president, he was in office. Who was coming after him the most? Who was coming after him? The government, news, the media. We're going to impeach him. He's getting impeached. Congress, everybody coming after him. But you don't see that this go around, do you? You don't see that. Matter of fact, it's the other way around. It's like he told the governor of Maine. It was said something about he signed a executive order for men to no longer participate in women's sports. And I guess that particular governor said, we ain't gonna sign it. And he said, well, okay. And she said, somebody see you in court. He said, that's an easy one. Then he proceeded to say, after that, and you need to start planning your life after governor because you won't be an elected official after this term. In front of other governors.
Yeah, more stuff that he ain't gonna do.
Now, I think that's something that's probably gonna happen. Because he's doing public embarrassment and humiliation.
And every person in history that's done this has not ended up well. So it's gonna be the same thing for him.
I don't think he's gonna end up well, but I do not foresee some of these people that are in governor's positions or in mayor positions or positions to hold him any longer because it's what he's exposing to the people. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the proper processes or doing things the appropriate way. Yeah, going to court and doing all that, that's the appropriate process to do. Did that governor say anything wrong? No. What he's trying to illustrate to the people who's watching all this, who's being broadcasted on media, hey, you see what I'm doing? I'm saying men don't need to participate in sports, and this buffoon told me they don't vote for her no more. She don't need to be in office no more. Somebody else need to take it who got more common sense. And guess what? People gonna eat it up because a lot of people gonna agree with it. See, that's what I'm saying. When I say smoke and mirrors, a lot of exposure, a lot of humiliation, but in a way, because let's be real, American people, we as a country, we like drama. If somebody's out here talking about the goodness of salvation, doing things right, ain't nobody gonna watch it. But as soon as you stream somebody slapping somebody and cussing somebody out, it's gonna have 1 million plus views. So they're gonna tune in to it. He know what he's doing. His administration doing they doing a good job to get the attention of the people. I hate to say that. They're doing a really good job because everybody's eyes is watching what they doing, what they saying, what they writing. Anytime he's sitting down and they say red dot live, 1, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million in seconds because they got the attention. So therefore, he just doing what he want to do. Okay, y'all want to embarrass me, humiliate me. It's my time. It's my turn. But guess what? I'm only gonna be in office for 4 years, maybe 8, depending on who continue to vote for me. Your job is done after I get done for you.
Vengeance is not mine.
Well, I agree. I agree, but I'm just saying.
And he gonna fall right on his face for he trying to get revenge on everybody trying to take him down. He gonna fall right on your face trying to get that revenge.
I don't think he gonna fall on his face due to that. I foresee him falling out with his own people over money, and I also foresee his own people trying to do harm to him. I don't see nobody that has an issue with him currently or have an issue with his administration trying to do anything to him because they too afraid. But I see his own people who's probably in his administration, his personal circle, his cabinet, whatever it may be. I see them coming after him. They're gonna have a falling out. I done said it 100 times. That's what I foresee happening. Because everything's going the way he wanted right now. So, but yeah, Zach, that was a good question, man. Sheesh, that's all I gotta say, man. Like I said, The Infinity Stones have been given to that administration, and they are snapping their fingers. And unfortunately, we ain't got an Iron Man to come save the day, and we ain't got a Doctor Strange to do a time search to see how we can win. We just gonna have to ride the wave.
Very much so. But hey, man, we want y'all to take from this episode, I mean, from this conclusion from this is that be involved in what's going on. Start paying attention to the situations going around to you. Start looking at the impacts this is going to have on you and start preparing for those impacts. Be proactive and not reactive to these situations that's going on because you waiting to be reactive can be very detrimental to you. You want to be able to make sure you have a step ahead of the game or at least have a plan for when the stuff starts hitting the fan and when stuff starts coming towards you, you know? So that's all we wanted to make sure y'all guys know. We wanted to give you the information if you didn't understand it or you wasn't understanding what was being said with the tariffs and everything. Hopefully this helped you get a better understanding of that. And we hope we did a good job for you.
For sure, for sure. I think that was a great, insightful conversation. I think it was a great, insightful topic. Both of you guys had great topics today. What I'll tell you guys is, our listeners, subscribe, like, share, comment. LP, I'm signing out. I'll leave the rest of my co-hosts.
All right, y'all. It's Sha Marie. I'm signing out. Follow me on all my social media platforms. It's Sha Marie. It is tax season, and I am filing your taxes through April 15th. If you do want to file after April 15th, you potentially could be penalized, but I can definitely assist you with that as well. So y'all get at me. Bye.
What up? It's your boy Durst. Y'all know how to get at me. It's zdurst25 on Gmail. Reach out to me for any catering or any jobs y'all need done. See you.